All right. Good evening. Let's see here. I think we are live. It is right at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on Wednesday, December the 15th. Hope everybody is doing well tonight. Let's see, we have a few people here. We're in the stream. We'll wait for some others to join. Hope everybody is doing well this Christmas time. Definitely an exciting time in physical media for sure. Hope everybody's Christmas shopping is going well. Definitely look forward to hearing what you all think about the Criterion Collection announcement for March 2022 titles. They announced right around lunchtime, I think, the titles that they're going to be releasing for March of 2022. So definitely looking forward to hearing what you think about these titles, and I am looking forward to sharing my thoughts as well. I see South End Arts, hello from the UK, cheers. I see internet users out there, hello to you as well. Yeah, hope everybody is doing well tonight. Yeah, it's a pretty nice collection of titles that's been announced. And I am very much looking forward to some of them. I see Island 007-100, Island 007-100. Hello, how are you? Good evening. I see Sydney's out there. Hello to you as well. You're taking a welcome break from putting up the Christmas tree. Yes, it's that time of the year. How's everybody's Christmas shopping going so far? Hopefully well. Okay. Well, let's see here. I guess we'll go ahead and jump right into it. I just wanted to just take a few minutes to share my thoughts on the Criterion Collection March 2022 announcement. They released the titles that they're going to be releasing in March of 2022 around lunchtime today. They made the announcement on, I think, Twitter and the social feeds. And so let's jump right into the titles that's coming out this March. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to go to the Criterion site and check these out. As I look at the titles that have been announced for March 2022, there's a couple of observations that I sort of take from this. You've got a couple of new 4K titles. So that's one of the things I was really looking forward to seeing, especially coming off of February, where we had no new 4K titles. So I was really hopeful that we would get something in March. And we do have a couple of new 4K titles, including an upgrade of an existing spy number. And we've got a couple new directors in the collection as well, who are making their first appearance in the Criterion Collection. We've got 4 new titles overall in the collection, so 4 new spy numbers. And we also have a film that is coming in the collection that stars one of my favorite actors of all time from classic Hollywood, Jimmy Stewart. So James Stewart is in one of these films, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And so we've got 5 titles that have been announced from the Criterion Collection for March of 2022. So we've got one title coming out March the 8th. We've got one title coming out on the 15th. And then we've got one title coming out March 22nd, and then 2 titles coming out at the end of the month. So let's jump right into these. So I'm on the Criterion site, as you can see here, and we are scrolling down here. And the first title that's going to be released is this film here, Adoption. Most of these are blind buys for me, with the exception of one of these, Love Jones. But this is the first title that's coming out in March of 2022. And it's a Hungarian film. And the topic, I think, is pretty interesting. So this is from Marta Mészáros. She's one of the new directors in the collection. And this is basically about the experiences of women in 1970s Hungary in this drama film. So don't know much about this film, as well as several of these titles this month. So these are all going to be pretty much new discoveries for me, with the exception of Love Jones. But this title is called Adoption from Marta Mezaros, and it's gonna include a 4K digital restoration. You got a new video essay that's on here, an interview with Mezaros from 2019. And this is a film from 1975 coming out of Hungary. It's 86 minutes. So this is a new spine number, spine 1115 in the collection. This one, from a format standpoint, is going to be available on Blu-ray. So it does not appear that this will be a 4K title, at least not at this point. And I don't expect that it will be. It's going to be coming out on Blu-ray on Tuesday, March the 8th. So that's Adoption. Let me know in the comments section if you're familiar with this film and what you think about it, and whether or not you recommend this as a pickup, whether it be day one or if this is a good choice for the upcoming July sale. Let me know that in the comments below. But this is Adoption from Marta Mezaros, coming out on Tuesday, March the 8th. So that's an interesting start to the month. Then as you proceed in the following week, in March, I think things get a little bit more interesting. This is a title that is from director Jean-Pierre Melville, who is not new to the collection. He has another title in the collection, at least one other title. No, he's got Army of Shadows, as well as a few other titles. He has Les Samurai, which I have. Of course, I have Army of Shadows here, which is an excellent, excellent title that I'm really glad to have. And I'm very much looking forward to adding this one here, Le Cercle Rouge, or The Red Circle. And so this stars Alain Delon. He plays a master thief coming out of prison, and he's makes a connection with a notorious escapee, Jean-Marie Volonté, and an alcoholic ex-cop, Yves Montand. And I think Jean-Marie Volonté, I believe that is the same actor who played in Christ Stopped at Eboli, I believe. Correct me if that's not correct in the comment section, but I believe Jean-Marie Volonté played the lead in another Criterion Collection edition called Christ Stopped at Eboli, and he appears in this film, Le Cercle Rouge. This is one of the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray combo packs that's coming out in March. So this is one of the new 4K titles that has been announced from Criterion today. And this is coming in at standard MSRP of $49.95. This is going to feature a new 4K restoration from Studio Canal. You've got a few other features on here. When I was looking at this earlier, didn't appear to be a lot in the way of special features on here. It doesn't look to be a stacked edition. And based on what I'm reading here, it looks like these features might have been on the previous DVD or Blu-ray edition of this film. So let me know in the comments below if that is correct or not. But this definitely looks like an interesting film. I really enjoyed this film from Jean-Pierre Melville, as well as Les Samurai, which is in my collection as well. And so I'm definitely looking forward to picking this one up. Let me know if you're interested in picking up this title as well. So let me go back to the page here and let me stop sharing for a moment. Cancel my share. And let's see who all's out here. Let's see. Hope everybody is having a great time. Hello, South End. Hello, internet user. I see Island 007-100. I'm sure you're decorating that Christmas tree really well with some nice ornaments. Sydney says hello. Hello, Sydney. Also known as Let's Talk Criterion. Yes, Steve. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. James, who are your top 3 movie directors? Oh, that is a great question. Well, I think my top 5 directors are pretty well solidified. I know the ones that are definitely in my top 5. Certainly, Alfred Hitchcock is at the top. Akira Kurosawa is up there for me, very high, as well as Stanley Kubrick. Those are 3 of my top directors. Those might be my top 3: Hitchcock, Akira Kurosawa, and Stanley Kubrick. Those might be my top 3, but I could be missing someone that I'm not thinking of. But those are definitely up there for me. I love Brian De Palma, and so yeah, I'll roll with those 4. But definitely Hitchcock for me is at the very top. Let's see. South End says, I have the Studio Canal 4K of Le Cirque Rouge. It's the same transfer. Okay. And hopefully it's a good transfer. Let us know in the comments what you think of that transfer. Let's see, I have a few Criterion Collection movies. I love the special features because you can learn about the movie and actors and the director. Yeah, I agree 100%. And Criterion does such an amazing job with their releases for the most part. And what's being shown up here is a great example of that. This is One Night in Miami, and I'm going to be releasing a review of this on the channel pretty soon. Let me know if you've seen this one, but I had not yet seen this title until I checked out this Criterion Collection Edition, and this is a really nice one. This is the film from 2020 from Regina King, the Academy Award-winning actress. And I was so happy to see her win that Oscar for that movie a few years ago, and to see her in her directorial debut put out a film of this quality about a really interesting story based on the screenplay by Kemp Powers. And this is a really nice addition. The picture looks fantastic. It was shot digitally. It's a great picture, but the special features are what really takes this edition to the next level. I mean, Regina King contributes a lot to this edition, so definitely recommend this one. Let me know in the comments if you have this one, but that's what's being shown on the TV up here. This is a really good one, One Night in Miami. And Leslie Odom Jr. was nominated for an Oscar for that film. So this is a really good one. See, South End says, also got Les Enfants Terribles from BFI, another great Melville Cocteau film. Okay. Le Cirque Rouge is a fantastic film, and the extras are the exact same as the DVD out of print 2011 Blu-ray release. Yes. So this is a title that's been out of print for a while from Criterion. So it's actually very exciting that this one is coming back, and it's coming back as a 4K Ultra HD combo pack. So let me switch back to sharing my screen, and we can get back to looking at what else is coming out. So we've talked about Adoption coming out on March the 8th. That's an interesting one. And Le Cirque Rouge, or the Red Circle from Jean-Pierre Melville, is coming out on the 15th of March. So that's coming out 3 months from today. So looking forward to that. That's going to be the newest 4K Ultra HD release. Then the next title that's coming out on the 22nd is the title that I mentioned that stars James Stewart in a disaster type film. And this is from director Robert Aldrich, who's also new to the collection. It's called The Flight of the Phoenix. This is a film from 1965. It runs at almost 2.5 hours. And this will be a new discovery for me. But the fact that it has this cast looks fantastic. You've got, of course, James Stewart, who is one of my favorite actors from classic Hollywood. I love him in all those Hitchcock films and other films that he's appeared in. Of course, he's in Anatomy of a Murder, which is a great Criterion edition. It's also featured in that Columbia Classics Volume 2 set that I picked up a couple of months ago or a month ago, that I highly recommend picking that up. There's some great films in there, including Anatomy of a Murder in 4K and Taxi Driver in 4K. But this film from Criterion that's coming out on the 22nd of March is The Flight of the Phoenix, and it stars him, James Stewart, Richard Attenborough, Peter Finch. You've got Hardy Kruger and Ernest Borgnine. So just a fantastic looking cast. And this is from director Robert Aldrich. And so It says a downed airplane is a motley group of men's only protection from the relentless desert sun in this psychologically charged disaster epic, one of the all-time great survival movies. So again, I confess I don't know much about this film. This is going to be a new discovery for me, but this is one of those cases where I'm going to blind buy this just with no fear whatsoever because I like the cast already, and this is a Criterion Collection edition release. So I've had a pretty good run with blind buys from Criterion. So I have a pretty high level of confidence that I'm going to like this edition. So let me know if you've seen this film. This is going to feature a new 2K digital restoration, a new conversation between filmmaker Walter Hill and film scholar Elaine Silver, another new interview. So it's not stacked. It's not a stacked edition as far as supplements, but this is a really interesting looking film with a nice cast. This will come out on Blu-ray, so it's going to be standard Blu-ray, and it's coming in at spine number 1116. This is The Flight of the Phoenix, starring James Stewart and an all-star cast. This is the film from 1965, directed by Robert Aldrich, and is coming out from Criterion on Tuesday, March the 22nd. So that looks like a pretty interesting title. So let's go back here to the comments again. And let's see what's going on here in the comments. We have here, Sydney says, One Night in Miami is very good, but I will order it. Okay. And let's see. I love the artwork on the Jimmy Stewart title. Yes. Thank you for mentioning that. That is a nice piece of artwork on that particular cover. I really like that. So let me jump back into the screen share here. And let's go ahead and knock out these last two editions, because these last two editions look really fascinating to me. And these last two editions are two of the editions that I'm most looking forward to. So the first one here is from Martin Scorsese. This is a Martin Scorsese film. It's from 1978. So the 70s is one of my favorite decades in film. I just love that period of history, and I love seeing it portrayed on screen. So part of the reason why I'm looking forward to finally popping in that Taxi Driver 4K disc from the Columbia set. So but this is Martin Scorsese's The Last Waltz. And this is a concert film. And it says here, more than just one of the greatest concert films ever made, The Last Waltz is an at once ecstatic and elegiac summation of a vital era in American rock music. So invited to document the farewell performance of the legendary group, The Band, at San Francisco's Winterland Ballroom on Thanksgiving 1976, Martin Scorsese conceived a new kind of music documentary. So this is a music documentary from Martin Scorsese. He used 7 camera operators, including Vilmos Zsigmond, Laszlo Kovacs, and Michael Chapman, some renowned cinematographers, and art director Boris Levin to design the strikingly theatrical sets. So this looks like a pretty interesting concert type film. This runs at 117 minutes, so just under 2 hours. And this is the other 4K Ultra HD combo pack of the month. So this is a new 4K Ultra HD offering from Criterion that looks to have some pretty nice special features. So you get this 4K digital restoration on here, and you get a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. You're going to get Dolby Vision HDR on the 4K disc, and of course SDR on the Blu-ray. You get 2 audio commentaries here. I saw that earlier, which I thought is just great to see. I love commentaries on discs. You get a new interview with Scorsese, a documentary from 2002. You have some outtakes, another interview from 1978 when this film came out with Martin Scorsese and Robertson. So this edition really looks like it has a nice set of special features. Not totally stacked, but it's not bare bones by any means. There's some nice looking supplements on here with those commentaries, those interviews, the documentary. So this is one that I'm definitely looking forward to picking up. Now, this is going to come in at that standard SRP of $49.95. Of course, it's listed here currently on the Criterion site at just under $35. But this is one that I would probably personally might wait for the July sale. But we'll look at some reviews and we'll see. I may end up pulling the trigger on it earlier than that. But this is The Last Waltz from Martin Scorsese from 1978. So that's an interesting one. Which then brings us to the last title that's coming out on March the 29th from the Criterion Collection. And this is a really, really interesting film. It's from 1997, and it is Love Jones. So this is a film by Theodore Witcher. He is new to the Criterion Collection. And this is a film that's basically, it says here, steeped in the bohemian cool of Chicago's 1990s Black creative scene. Love Jones, a smart, sexy, and stylish debut feature of writer-director Theodore Witcher, is a love story for anyone who has ever wondered, how do I know when I found the one? So this stars Larenz Tate and Nia Long, and you see them on this nice cover here. I would say that for me, I would agree with the person who indicated the cover for the James Stewart film looked really good. This to me is probably number 2 or number 1 for me in terms of covers for the month. This is a nice looking cover. I just love this picture here of Larenz Tate and Nia Long. And this is a really, really nice film. And I'm glad to see it come out from the Criterion Collection. Of course, this is from 1997. Theodore Witcher is new to the collection. You may remember Larenz Tate from another film that recently came out from Criterion in one of his early 4K releases, and that's this one right here, Menace to Society. So this one here looks to be a really interesting one. This is coming out on standard Blu-ray. It is featuring a new 4K digital restoration. You got a new interview with Witcher and a film scholar, Raquel Gates, who did a great job. Actually, Raquel Gates did one of the interviews on this edition, Menace to Society, and she did a fantastic job on this one. So that's definitely something to be excited about, to see what she'll bring to this interview on this edition, because her feature, if you have not seen Raquel Gates's feature on this disc, I highly recommend checking that out. It's one of the best special features on the Menace to Society release. That's from Raquel J. Gates. You have a new interview with music scholars Mark Anthony Neal and Shauna L. Redman on the soundtrack. You've got a panel discussion featuring Witcher and members of the cast and crew. So not an incredibly stacked edition, but definitely looks like there's some pretty nice features on this edition. So definitely looking forward to checking out Love Jones. And I'm kind of holding out hope that maybe they'll come back and announce that that'll come out on 4K. That would make me very happy if they did, but I'm not sure if that will happen. But this is one that I'm really excited about. So as I look at this month of releases that are coming out for March, I find myself most excited about Love Jones, The Last Waltz, The Flight of the Phoenix, and Le Cercle Rouge. Adoption is one that I'm still sort of thinking about. But let me know in the comments below what you think about these particular releases that are coming out in March 2022. Of course, The Last Waltz and Le Cercle Rouge, The Red Circle, are coming out on 4K Ultra HD. So that is very exciting. But let me know what you think about these releases that are coming out. Which ones are you most excited about? Are there ones that really pop out to you? Are there any that have been announced that you're like, I don't know, So let's see here. Island 007 100 says, I last saw Flight of the Phoenix as a kid on UHF television back in the 1980s. I remember it is a great and very entertaining film. Okay, that's good to know. And I'm expecting that to be a good film. That's why I have no problem blind buying it. I wasn't expecting The Last Waltz at all. I watched it last month and really enjoyed it from Internet User. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I like films like that, concert type films. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And if Criterion's picked it up and is putting it on a 4K Ultra HD edition, I have to believe it's going to be something worth worth seeing. So let's see. Do you like horror movies? Absolutely, love horror movies. The Shining is one of my favorite of all time. Of course, I like Get Out. I love horror movies for sure. Carrie is one of my favorite horror movies. Great one. Let's see. Criterion is snatching up all the New Line titles. Yes, yes. There are some really nice ones that they've put out and that they're putting out. Of course, this Menace to Society one. I'm putting together my top 10 list for 2021, and Menace to Society is just one of the best releases of the year in my opinion, and I really enjoyed that one for sure. Juan Carlos says, I hope that Criterion will release sometime in 4K The Man Who Fell to Earth. Yes, that would be a good one for sure. That would be a good one. Absolutely. Let's see. We got Matt Miller says, hi. I do have a couple of items here. Of course, there's a lot going on in the world of physical media. Of course, Robert Aldrich is directed the film The Flight of the Phoenix. He also directed this edition from Criterion, Kiss Me Deadly. So this is a really good one I have not seen in a while, but this is one I would recommend checking out as well from this director. Kiss Me Deadly is a really good one. So definitely recommend that one. Of course, Jean-Pierre Melville, who directed A Le Cirque Rouge, did Army of Shadows. So this is another good one to consider. And of course, I'm really excited about the 4K titles that Criterion is going to release in 2022. And of course, as I mentioned before, if I had my way, we all know that they are releasing, I think in February, Miller's Crossing, which this is an older Blu-ray. But if I had my way and had my wish, I would have them release this movie on 4K Ultra HD. If Criterion released this movie from the Coen brothers on 4K Ultra HD in a combo pack in 2022, I can tell you right now, it would probably be in my top 10 for sure. Just the sight unseen, I already know that this would probably make my top 10 if Criterion released a 4K edition of it. So just putting that hint out there. I would love to see that happen. So let's see here. We got Matt said hi, and Juan Carlos said, I will pick up Le Cirque Rouge in 4K. Yep, I plan to as well. It'll be a blind buy for me, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm expecting it to be really good because I really enjoyed Army of Shadows. Okay, I'm the same as you, not sure about adoption, but we'll get the others. Yes, that's kind of where I'm at, but I definitely look forward to hearing from you all. For if any of you have seen adoption, let us know what you think about it. Let's see. Speaking of New Line, imagine if they picked up Nightmare on Elm Street. Now that's one that would be really interesting if it made its way to Criterion for sure. Piece of non-Criterion news real quick. Of course, this week, big releases in physical media this week. Of course, I picked up the Red Shoes and Mulholland Drive on 4K. So very excited to share thoughts on those very soon on the channel. Definitely looking forward to checking those out on 4K Ultra HD. Took a sneak peek at each one last night and pretty pleased with how they look in glorious 4K Ultra HD in Dolby Vision. But today from Best Buy, picked up this title. This is not Criterion, but this is, of course, a really, really fascinating film from a few years ago from Martin Scorsese, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. This is Scorsese, right? Yeah. So it's from Scorsese. Of course, he's the director of the Last Waltz that's coming out in March. So this is a good one, Wolf of Wall Street. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out on 4K Ultra HD. I didn't get the Steel book for that one. I just wanted to pick up the 4K, and it was $19.99 at Best Buy, so a good deal for that. So let's see. I mean, RoboCop isn't Criterion, so Nightmare is definitely possible. Yeah, you never know, right? If RoboCop and Armageddon and The Rock are in there, hey, anything could happen. But yeah, so those are the additions that have been announced from the Criterion Collection for March of 2022. Let us know in the comments what you think about these titles. Are you excited about any of these? Of course, a couple of these are 4K titles. Of course, you've got The Waltz from Martin Scorsese, that concert film from 1978. It's coming in at Spine 1118. It's coming in a 4K Ultra HD combo pack. That's one that I'm very interested in. And as I look at the features on here, I believe if it's a concert film, I didn't talk about the audio, but the audio is going to be a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio. So I think it'll be interesting to sort of see, what that sounds like. I'm expecting it to be a pretty nice, sound with that 4K Ultra HD video. And of course, you got Le Cercle Rouge coming back into the Criterion Collection, coming back into print for Criterion from director Jean-Pierre Melville. This is a 4K Ultra HD combo pack. This is an upgrade of Spine number 218 in the collection. So that is great to see. And it's using that new 4K digital restoration from Studio Canal. And you've got some interviews and archival on-set footage, but again, it doesn't appear to be a stacked edition, and looks like those features were carried over from the previous edition. But you're getting a new 4K Ultra HD edition. I've never owned that one before, so for me, I'm very much looking forward to picking that one up and seeing another film from Jean-Pierre Melville. So excited about those. I'm looking forward to The Flight of the Phoenix with Jimmy Stewart. And of course, that's from director Robert Aldrich. This is the 1965 A Disaster film. So that should be interesting. Got a 2K digital restoration for that one, a little bit light on supplements. And then, of course, Love Jones. Love Jones, if I had to pick one title I was most excited about for this coming March, I would say it would have to be Love Jones would top the list. And the only thing that would make that just to the next level would be if they announced that on 4K Ultra HD. So that would be even more exciting. But it looks like with this new 4K digital restoration, they do such a good job with the restoration work for these titles. Like, for example, Love and Basketball, which is a fantastic edition. If you haven't checked that one out, highly recommend that one. I believe that featured a 4K digital restoration, and it looked absolutely fantastic on that Blu-ray. And I'm expecting Love Jones to probably have a similar, video output. So really looking forward to that. Let's see here. Okay, Jasmine Patrick, hello. South End says, rumor is out there we're getting Mank on 4K. Yeah, I've heard that as well. And I think there were some rumors that Mank might be released alongside Citizen Kane in 4K, which that's another one. If you have not picked up Citizen Kane, highly recommend it. I know there's this issue with the Blu-ray disc 1 potentially for some people. I didn't see anything on my Blu-ray disc 1. I'm going to look at it again before I try to get a replacement from Criterion. I haven't seen anything. I'm going to try to look and see again. I think it's at that 30-minute mark where the picture quality, I think, is supposed to go down, but I didn't notice anything. But that 4K Ultra HD picture looks fantastic for Citizen Kane, and the supplemental package for that Criterion Collection edition is just absolutely one of the best packages that I've seen from Criterion in a long time. So Citizen Kane is absolutely amazing. But I heard that Mank was supposed to come out around the time that one came out. But yeah, I think that we might be hearing about that one in 2022. We shall see. It says Island 007-100, only one film adoption is getting a DVD release. Still curious to know Criterion's methodology for determining formats on their new releases. Yes, that's a great question. That is a great question. What is their methodology for determining which titles to release on 4K? And then which titles do they still offer a DVD option? So those are great questions. I think we're going to learn a lot more about all of that in 2022 is what I suspect. So let's see. To be fair, RoboCop is a really great film, great action, smart satire, recommended. Okay. Sounds great. One hope of mine, my dream, the upgrades that John Woo's masterpieces deserve. Yep. I like John Woo's films. Ricky Long, I did the replacement for Citizen Kane so I can get that $10 coupon. Yes, you know, that's probably a good reason to go ahead and do it anyway, even if you don't see a difference, just to get that $10 coupon. So yeah, that's a good thought. But yeah, so I'm going to share my screen one more time, and what we're going to do here, and then we'll wrap it up. But what I'll do here is I'm just going to share my screen so that we can take a look back at the Criterion site one more time. And whoops. And because I want to just take a quick look at the first quarter. Now that we've got March announced, we know what's coming out in March from Criterion. We now know what's coming out in 2022 from the Criterion Collection in the first quarter. So we're starting out with The Celebration, which I've already pre-ordered and plan to do a review on this channel. So I'm looking forward to that one. This is from Thomas Vinterberg. You've got Time, the documentary that, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to picking up from Garrett Bradley. Beatles: A Hard Day's Night, 4K Ultra HD combo pack. Dick Johnson is Dead. This is from Kirsten Johnson. Of course, she's the director of Camera Person, which is an excellent addition from Criterion. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. So when you look at the month of January, of course, wrapping up with The Piano, the 4K Ultra HD edition of that, Criterion's off to a nice start. Then you move to February. You've got Written on the Wind. This is from Douglas Sirk, starring Rock Hudson in a nice cast. Miller's Crossing, as I mentioned before, is coming out in February from the Coen brothers. You've got this film from Irene Dunne and Charles Boyer, Love Affair, which is coming out. And then you've got the title coming out at the end of February that I'm most interested in, and that's The Boat People. So this is from Anne Hooley. So I'm looking forward to that one. I always love documentaries, particularly documentaries about, you know, like wartime events like Vietnam War. I'm very fascinated with that particular event in history. So any documentary around that period is fascinating to me. And then that brings us to March. How's the first quarter wrapping up? And I think it's wrapping up pretty well. So you've got Adoption coming out March the 8th. You've got 4K Ultra HD edition of Le Cirque Rouge coming back into the collection as an upgrade of Spine 218. The Jimmy Stewart film, The Flight of the Phoenix, coming out on Blu-ray. 4K Ultra HD of The Last Waltz from Martin Scorsese from 1978. And ending the month with 1997's Love Jones from director Theodore Witcher, starring Nia Long and Larenz Tate. Of course, Larenz Tate played in Menace to Society, played O-Dog in that film. And I mean, he was just incredible in this film. And this film, Love Jones, came out, I believe, a few years after Menace to Society. Menace to Society is 1993, yes. So Love Jones is 97, so 4 years later. So this is Larenz Tate a few years after Menace to Society, playing alongside Nia Long in this really, really wonderful film here. So I think for the first quarter, the Criterion Collection is off to a pretty good start for 2022. But definitely let me know in the comments section what you think about these titles as we get ready to wrap up here. So let me get these last few comments, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But I hope everybody's having a great night. I got the Criterion Citizen Kane, the Warner Brothers version to compare. Okay. Yeah, the Warner Brothers edition, I saw an unboxing. I think I may have seen yours, actually, Steve, where you were comparing the two. And it looks like from a packaging standpoint that the Warner Brothers had a little bit more, to offer in terms of packaging, with those cards and all the features. But the Criterion edition, in terms of on-disc features, just knocks it out of the park in terms of all the documentaries and the interviews. It's just one of the best collection of supplements I've ever seen for any edition from Criterion. So the on-disc features, I think, probably win the day for the Criterion edition. But I think, to your point and your summary, I really like how you laid out the Warner Brothers version there. So that was really fascinating to see. And if I can get my hands on that one, I'll probably get that one too, because I absolutely love that film. So Le Cirque Rouge's cover, absolute classic indeed. Man, the celebration is fantastic. Okay, good to know. But yeah, I'm planning on getting it in a few weeks. It'll be delivered in a few weeks, so I'm looking forward to seeing it and sharing my thoughts on it on the channel. So let's see. And do you think Criterion will do a Kurosawa box set? I've been hearing about that for a long time. Hopefully, at some point, we shall see. I would say that, I would love to see them. I would rather see them release Seven Samurai on 4K in one of these 4K Ultra HD combo packs than a box set, because I have so many of Kurosawa's films already, but we shall see. Have you ever watched the Criterion movie Insignificance? One Night in Miami reminds me of that movie. I have not seen that one. I'll have to check that one out. Is that only on DVD? I'm not familiar with that one. Traveling Man, Love Jones is a wonderful romantic drama comedy. I agree. And with those leads, Lorenz Tate and Nia Long, I mean, can't go wrong there. Ricky Long, since we got Menace in 4K, hope Criterion will bring Dead Presidents back to their library. Hey, that would be a good one. I haven't seen that one since it probably first came out. So looking forward to, I would love to revisit that one on Criterion. Yep. Underrated classic. I would agree, Traveling Man. So yes, indeed, that was my summary. I prefer the Criterion overall. Yes. Okay. Very good. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Criterion's Citizen Kane. It is just absolutely phenomenal, just fantastic. And as I said in my review, when I compared the picture quality of the Criterion 4K Ultra HD to the 70th anniversary edition, the 4K definitely edges it out. I mean, it's definitely a better picture, but it's not head and shoulders better, which is not a bad thing. It's just that 70th anniversary Blu-ray from 10 years ago was just so awesome that you're just comparing to what was already a great Blu-ray, and it just a little bit better. So that's not a bad thing. So Thomas, Insignificance was about one night where Einstein, Joe McCarthy, Babe Ruth, and Marilyn Monroe all met up in a hotel. Okay, I'll have to check that one out sometime. Interesting and nice to see all these Laserdiscs get upgraded. Indeed. Insignificance is a Criterion Blu-ray. Okay, have to check that one out sometime. But yes, so anyway, I just wanted to come on here and just share some thoughts on this Criterion Collection announcement of their March 2022 titles. Looks like a very interesting month. Again, I am definitely interested in picking up 4 of the 5 titles. The only one that I'm sort of on the fence on is Adoption, because I know absolutely nothing about it. I've never heard of it, but I definitely look forward to hearing your comments on what you think about that title. But I just want to capture one last comment here from the South End from Steve. I have Insignificance, a Nicholas Roeg film. Okay, awesome. But let me know in the comments below what you think about these titles, and what other titles are you picking up this time of the year. It's an exciting time in physical media. But I just wanted to say thank you for joining tonight. Hope everyone has a safe and blessed Christmas and happy holiday season. Of course, looking forward to some more great content coming out on this channel. Of course, we're going to do a review of One Night in Miami. I do plan to do a review of Invasion of the Body Snatchers 4K. It finally came in my mail a few days ago, as well as share my thoughts on The Red Shoes on 4K, and share thoughts on Mulholland Drive in 4K. So very excited to see these Criterion Collection editions out in 4K, as well as just so much other things going on in physical media. Was really happy to pick up that Wolf of Wall Street 4K edition. I have not seen that film yet. That's a Martin Scorsese film I have not seen. I've heard great things about it. I know Leonardo DiCaprio killed it in that movie. So looking forward to seeing that film. But let me know in the comments what you think about these films, how you're enjoying the holiday season, whether you've finished your Christmas shopping yet, and stay safe and blessed out there. And hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And we'll look forward to talking with you soon. Good night, everybody. Peace.